It's 2 a.m. Your body is begging you to sleep, but your brain just leaned over and whispered, "Hey, remember that stupid thing you said 3 years ago?" And just like that, you're wide awake. Now you're replaying a conversation from this afternoon, rewording what you should have said. Then you're 3 years in the past. It's cringing at something nobody else even remembers. Then you're in tomorrow, losing an argument with a person who is fast asleep. The more tired you get, the louder it gets. And here's the cruelest part. During the day, when you actually have time to think, your mind goes quiet. But the second your head hits the pillow, it turns into a courtroom, a cinema, and a disaster planning committee, all at once. And you've heard all the advice. Just clear your mind. Stop overthinking. Every time someone says it, part of you wants to scream, because if you could simply stop, you would have done it years ago. So here is the first thing I need you to hear tonight. That advice fails, because it is aimed at the wrong thing entirely. Your nighttime mind is not broken, and you are not weak or lazy or just anxious. What is happening to you is a specific, predictable process with a real biological cause. And once you understand the machinery behind it, it finally starts to loosen its grip. Today, we're going to unpack why the quietest hour of your day is the loudest hour of your mind, and how you can take back the wheel. Welcome in. I'm Sage. Let's get started. Let's start with the question almost nobody answers. Why night? Think about your whole day. From the second you wake up, your attention gets hijacked by tasks, screens, people, noise, the 1,000 tiny demands of being a functioning human. All that external input works like a hand held over a boiling pot. It keeps the lid down. You are not calmer during the day. You are just too busy to hear yourself. Then night comes. The tasks stop. The screens go dark. The hand lifts off the pot. In your brain, there is a network that switches on the moment you stop focusing on the outside world. It's called the default mode network. It is your self-reflection engine. All day it hums in the background, but the instant you lie still in the dark with nothing to do, it takes the wheel. And its favorite hobby is picking through unfinished business. Your regrets, your worries, your future. You did not summon those thoughts. You just finally got quiet enough to hear them. And there is a chemical handover too. All day, your prefrontal cortex, the calm, rational, grown-up part of your brain, keeps your fears in proportion. But it runs on energy, and by night, its batteries are drained. Meanwhile, the amygdala, your brain's built-in fire alarm, never gets tired. So late at night, the wise, calming voice is slurring its words, while the panicky, threat-detecting voice is wide awake and shouting. That is why a problem that felt manageable at 2 in the afternoon feels like the end of the world at 2 in the morning. The problem did not change. The staff running your brain did. But here is the part that changes everything. This racing mind of yours is not a defect you were born with. For a huge number of overthinkers, it is something you overcharge, learned long ago as a way to stay safe. Look back a moment. Did you grow up in a home where the mood could change without warning, where the weather in the room depended entirely on what kind of day an adult was having? A child in that house cannot afford to be careless. They become a radar station. They learn to read footsteps in the hallway and the silence at the dinner table, to predict the storm before the first drop of rain, because predicting it was the only way to prepare. Their nervous system built a machine whose whole job is to scan ahead and anticipate the worst. And that machine never got the memo that the danger is over. Susan Nolan Hoeksema, who spent her career studying this exact pattern at Yale and Michigan, found something that should lift a weight off your shoulders. The people who overthink the most are usually not the weakest. They are often the most intelligent, the most sensitive, the ones who read a room best. Your overthinking was never a character flaw. It is an adaptation, an exhausting survival skill that worked so well when you were small that it fused into who you are. Your brain does not hate you. It stands guard all night because it once learned that going off duty was not safe. So when that old alarm meets the silence of night, how does it show up? Let's break it down, one pattern at a time. Pattern 1, the open tabs. Your brain hates unfinished things. A century ago, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed that waiters remembered complex orders perfectly, right up until the bill was paid, and then the memory vanished. Closed things, the mind releases. Open things, keep tugging. All day, you slam these mental tabs half shut, just enough to function. The unfinished conversation, the email you didn't send, the feeling you didn't have time to feel, but you never closed them. You minimize them, and at night, your brain reopens every tab at once and demands you deal with them now. It's an old computer forced to run 100 programs at 3 a.m., fan roaring, going nowhere. Pattern 2, the silence trigger. Here is something uncomfortable, but freeing. Most of those thoughts were there the whole time. You just couldn't hear them over the noise of the day. For a lot of us, staying busy isn't productivity. It's a strategy. As long as there's a podcast in your ears and a screen in your face, the mind can't get a word in. But the busyness was never silence. It was a volume knob. And the moment you finally turned the world down to sleep, the thoughts you'd been out running all day simply catch up. Pattern 3. Thinking feels like solving. When your brain hands you a worry at midnight, it feels urgent, as if, just think hard enough and you'll finally crack it and be allowed to rest. But here's the trap, and it's chemical. Your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the reward chemical, every time it engages in problem solving, even an imaginary problem. So every time you run the scenario again, it quietly pays you for the act of thinking, whether or not anything changes in the real world. That is why you can't just decide to stop. You're fighting an addiction loop, not a bad habit. Real thinking moves you toward a decision. This just circles, round and round, generating no new answer, only more distress. It's a Ferrari with the engine screaming and the wheels spinning, stuck in neutral, burning a full tank to move 0 inches. Pattern 4, delayed emotion. All day, you don't have time to feel things. Something stings, and you swallow it and keep moving. But emotions don't disappear because you were busy. They wait. And at night, when the distractions are gone, those unfelt feelings don't come back as feelings. They come back disguised as thoughts. That anxious spiral about your future might really be a sadness you never let yourself feel this afternoon. Your mind would rather hand you a problem to solve than a feeling to sit with, because a problem feels like something you can control. And that's pattern 5. Underneath all the others, the illusion of control. Deep down, your brain won't stop because it's trying to protect you. Uncertainty feels genuinely dangerous to it, on a survival level. So when something is unresolved, it does the only thing it can in the dark, lying still. It thinks, It runs simulations. It rehearses every disaster in advance, so that if one comes true, you'll be ready. It's not malfunctioning. It's a loyal night watchman, checking every lock, trying to keep you safe from dangers that, almost every single time, are never going to come. And once you see that your overthinking mind is not your enemy, but an exhausted, overprotective guard on the night shift, everything changes, because you don't calm a frightened guard by yelling, "Stop." You calm it by showing it that it's finally safe to stand down. So here's how to actually do that. Starting tonight. Tip 1. Close the tabs on paper before you lie down. Your mind loops because it's terrified of forgetting. That's the whole reason it won't let go. So give it somewhere else to hold things. Keep a notebook by your bed, and before the light goes off, do a brain dump. Every worry, every task, out of your head and onto the page. You're not solving them, you're telling your mind, it's written down, you can stop guarding it now. For a huge number of people, this alone quiets the loudest part of the noise. Tip 2. Give your worry an earlier appointment. Part of why the fear shows up at midnight is that it never got a hearing during the day. So give it one. Set aside 10 minutes in the early evening, not in bed, and worry on purpose, on paper. Then when the same thought shows up at 1 a.m., you can gently tell it, "I know, we already looked at this at 7. There's nothing new to do right now." You're not suppressing it. You're reminding it that it already had its turn. Tip 3. Get out of your head and into your body. Here's a small truth with huge consequences. You cannot overthink and be fully in your senses at the same time. Overthinking lives in the past and the future. Your body only exists right now. So when the spiral starts, stop trying to win the argument in your head and drop into your senses. Notice 5 things you can feel in the dark. The weight of the blanket, your feet against the sheets, and slow your breath so the exhale is longer than the inhale. That longer exhale is a direct signal to your nervous system that the threat is over. You're not forcing the thoughts out. You're moving your attention to the one place the spiral can't follow you. Tip 4. When a thought keeps hammering, get underneath it. A lot of nighttime overthinking is unfelt emotion in the costume of a problem. So instead of asking, "How do I solve this?" ask, "What am I actually feeling right now?" And one more small shift. Instead of, "I ruined it," catch yourself and say, "I am having the thought that I ruined it." Feel the difference? Those 4 words, "I'm having the thought," and you step out of the current onto the shore. You're no longer drowning in the feeling. You're standing beside it, watching it flow past. And a feeling you finally let yourself feel fades far faster than one you keep turning into thoughts at 3 in the morning. And the last thing, for the hard nights, stop treating your mind like it's betraying you. It isn't. That relentless brain of yours is the same brain that makes you thoughtful and empathetic and deeply aware of everyone around you. It doesn't stay on at night because it's broken. It stays on because it cares. Far too much. At the worst possible time, but out of care, all the same. You are not a defective person who can't sleep. You are a deeply feeling person with a loyal, overworked mind that was never taught it's allowed to rest. Think of it like a lighthouse keeper who has stood watch so many years he's forgotten it's even possible to sleep. He isn't cruel, he's devoted. He truly believes that if he closes his eyes for one moment, the ships will crash on the rocks. Your job isn't to fire him, It's to sit beside him and gently show him. The storm passed long ago, the harbor is calm, and he is finally allowed to dim the lamp and close his eyes too. So the next time you're lying in the dark and the thoughts begin to rise, don't panic and don't fight them. Recognize what's really happening. The noise of the day has lifted, the guard has come on duty, and the tabs are reopening. Name it, write it down, come back to your breath, and remind that exhausted watchman that it did enough today, and it's allowed, at last, to rest. Before you go, I'm genuinely curious. What's the one thought that always seems to find you at night, the moment the lights go off? Tell me in the comments. Someone reading this is lying awake with the exact same one, and it helps more than you know to realize you're not alone in the dark. If any part of this made you feel a little more understood, leave a like so it reaches more people who need it, and subscribe, because every week we take one of these quiet, human struggles and make it make sense. I'm Sage. Take care of yourself tonight and get some rest. You've earned it.